Hello everyone, Naushad here.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to use an alternate to Google's Map Direction API to draw a route between point A to B in Xamarin Forms map application. Before we see what's happening in the code behind, let me show you a little demo of how the app should be working. So we do have two fields in our app: origin and destination. So we type a place name, or we could pass in postcode on either for origin or destination, and click the get route button to get the outcome. Now this 4.8 miles is the distance between point A to B, which is from Slough to Farnham Common, and 15 minutes stands for how long it's going to take us to get there. If we try the same thing in Android version of the same app, and when the server cannot process the data, it's going to give us an alert that there's no route found. So we've got to try back again, and this time it worked. But if we look at both application, it does showing two different directions. The reason being, on the Google version of the map application, it's giving us the shortest distance but longest time. On contrary, on the other one, it's giving us the longest distance but shortest time. One of the reason could be because we are using Xamarin.essential geocoding to convert this place's name into latitude and longitude. So there might be a friction of distance on the conversion, and that could be the reason for having two different outcomes from the REST call, which we are making through OSRM Route API. If we try a different place from Slough, say we want to go to London, see if it does give us almost the same. Okay, we got the result. So it starts from Slough on the iOS, and then it's taking us to London, 22.7 miles and 60 minutes approximately. We try the same thing on the Android version of the same app and see if it's almost identical. Again, the first one could not process, and the second one, yeah, it's a bit longer, 23.9 miles and 59 minutes again. So it all depends on how it's processing the data, but it should be the same thing. And it's taking us to London. Let's jump into the code behind. So what's happening behind the scene is we are using OSRM Route API. I'll give you a link of the API in the description. First, we have to initialize Xamarin Forms map for iOS, Android, and UWP. Though I'm working on a Mac, I'll show you a version of the same app on UWP. Then we are converting the origin and destination into lat and long using Xamarin Essential. Third thing we are doing is calling the OSRM Route API to get direction steps. So this is an example of the API call. So this is the origin in longitude, comma, latitude format, colon, the destination longitude, comma, latitude format, and then we say question mark steps equals true and alternatives equals true. So if we send the request, it's giving us only one route, and let's see what are the objects we do have in our direction response. We do have routes, waypoints, and code. If the server processes the data, it comes back with OK. And sometime when we see there is no route, it says the reason we see we couldn't find any route, it's because the server couldn't process the data and gives us the error that's been too many requests. So we're going to try back again, and again, and let's see when it works. It should work. So when the server is too busy sometimes, okay, it worked on the 5th time. So the drawback of using this API is that it's not as efficient as the Google's Map Direction API. So waypoints is from the starting point to the end point. So in this case, the starting point is in Cranwell's Lane, which is a place in Farnham Common, Slough, United Kingdom, and the destination is Beaconsfield Road, Farnham Common, Slough, United Kingdom. Summary: from point A, origin, destination, weight, duration, steps. This is what we are more interested in. You see, in the map application, if we could zoom in, the map goes in this zigzag road line. So these are the steps. Say when we use our navigation service on our satnav, it does tell us end of the road, take right, go straight. So when we say steps, these are the list of steps from point A to B, and these little dots are the connecting points, like these little dots. So you could draw a line in the map application. Let me zoom out. So inside the steps object, we do have list of intersections. So steps are when you are going into a straight road, or say it's quite zigzagged, but you've got to take a long, say you're driving for 1 mile, but the roads are not like in straight line. Intersections are giving you the location in latitude and longitude of that road. So it could be curved road, and these are the results of adding that line in curved shape. So intersections would have locations, and the steps could have more than one intersections. So let me see if it does have more than one intersections. Yes, it does. For example, on this one, say it's not only one location, so it must have been a curved road. So one location, another location, another location, another location, another location. So list of quite a few locations. So that means the road is not going straight ahead, so it could be a curved road, but it's when we get the direction, when we are driving, we're not taking any right or left. So steps are when it tells you end of the road, take right or left, or go straight, stuff like that. So we read these intersections. So we are interested in getting these numbers, the longitude and the latitude of this location object. And when we get all the list of the intersection locations, then we convert that into Xamarin maps, polyline dots. So if you look at the code behind, before you go into the code behind, this is the link for calling the RESTful services, and if you just read through it, it gives you all the detail of what it should be doing and what it does. And it is a very good service. There is like nearest services where we could pass a places latitude and longitude, and that's going to give us the nearest point for that particular latitude and longitude. Let's check the code. We are using MVVM pattern, so we do have model, direction response. So this is the class. In this direction response class, we have got list of routes, waypoints, code, and then the route. Inside route, we do have list of legs. Inside legs, we have got list of intersection. That's what our main key point is. So if we look at our view model, this is our origin, destination, route duration, and route distance, and Xamarin Forms command. So when we click the get route button, so it does call the OSRM Route Service. Let's see here. So the direction service, we're calling the services get direction response async using the origin and destination place field. So direction response, let's look into what's happening in our services folder. So we do have services, OSRM Route Service, base route URL, calling the OSRM Route API, HTTP client to make a RESTful GET call, and again we take the origin in string format, and using Xamarin Forms Geocoding, this is an essential library, we get the origin location into latitude and longitude format. If the origin and destination field is not null, say for example we typed something and then our essential geocoding could not convert that into latitude and longitude, it's going to give us a null, and that's going to display an alert that we could not process the output. So it would say, oh, there is no route, we could not find a route for this request. Once that's been converted into latitude and longitude, so there is a location object, so we call this URL. So origin location dot longitude comma origin location dot latitude colon destination location dot longitude and destination location dot latitude question mark overview. Again, this is coming from the documentation. Here you could get the full overview of the direction, or you could just have the steps. Our main concern is to get those intersection inside the step object. So we make a call get hashings passing the URL, read the JSON response, and then if it's been a successful request, we read and convert and deserialize the JSON into direction response result. If the result code is okay, means we did manage to read all the coordinates, then we return the result. If not, then it's going to return null. Come back into the view model. So we are here, we are initializing all the necessary object and list creation. Then we call the direction response service using the services.get direction response async, passing origin and destination parameter. If it's null, this is where we say, oh, display route could not found route. If it isn't, then we read the routes into a list. So list of routes been initialized at the top, and to get the route duration, we just read the first element of the routes list. So that's the single route duration. To have 0 decimal point output in our view, we do math.round and then say we want it after 0 decimal in output. So means we don't want anything rather than an integer number. For the distance though, we divide that by 1609, so the meter gets converted into miles, and then we say after dot we want only 1 decimal point to be displayed on our view. Inside the route object, we retrieve all the legs, and for each legs we get all the steps into list, and inside the list we do have, inside the steps we do have all the intersections. So again, for the intersection we say we get all the steps intersections into list, and we have defined another list of lat long to get those dots in location. So the idea is to read all the intersections, and that could be inside all the steps. Bear in mind, we don't have single intersection for single step object. So we did see here, for one particular step we do have many locations, so we need to read as many location object that comes as a result. Like in this step we do have like 6 or 7 location, means it's a curved line in the direction. And then for each intersection, in intersection local, we are just adding into our intersections list, so which is defined here at the top. So once that's been read, we want to loop through these intersections and convert that into latitude and longitude format. So we say object lat long, p stands for position, equal to new lat long, and p dot let equal to intersections object dot location. So here, see, it comes as a, usually the Google's Map API does give us the location in latitude and longitude format. In OSRM it comes in the other way around, so it's longitude and latitude. So if we are not reading the data properly, then we won't be able to draw the line. So once the location has been converted into position and added to the locations object, we don't need to do anything with the maneuver, because we're not doing anything with that. So till this point we have gotten all the list of positions for the polyline. After we have managed to convert them into positions in longitude and latitude format, we define a polyline equals to new polyline, stroke color that could be black. If we change that to, say, for example, red, and run the app, we should see the polyline, the route, in red color. So we wait for that. Let me just explain what's going on. It's okay, because it has come with, this time we try with the postcode. So SL23QL and SL23GW. Yeah, see, the color is red this time. 0.8 miles and 3 minutes. That's quick. And see, we defined a map element, public static map, which is a Xamarin Forms map, and then we say map.mapElements dot add and polyline. We are passing it, but before we passing all the polyline, we need to add all the location position in the polyline.geopath object. So once that's been added, we add the polyline in our maps element, and also at the same time we need to find the first position of the polyline and the last position of the polyline, so we could add pins in our Xamarin Forms map application. Map span to do a little animation and get to position one's location. So we say pin equal to new pin, label we are passing on the origin, and say the origin, and the position of the pin we say new position, first pin location dot latitude and first pin location dot longitude, and for the last pin we say pin equal to pin 2 new pin, and we are passing on the destination. So once that's been done, we say okay, display the output in Xamarin Forms map. Let's look at the view now. So simple grid, entry for the origin, entry for the destination, that's binded to our view model. Get route, binding to the get route command. activity indicator to let the user know if the app is busy calling a services or doing something behind the scene. And then route distance and route duration, we are formatting that in miles and minutes. And here we say maps map, and the name is map. So let's look at the code behind of the maps page. So nothing crazy, we just bind that to our route view model, and route view model.map, which is the public static map element, and we say that to this map is our views map. So we have named it as map. See, x colon name equal to map. So that's it basically. So this is an introductory video of how we could use a alternate to Google's map route API and get a direction from point A to B. I'll do a breakdown of all these functions into little tutorials, so for beginners it would help them understand how it's actually working. But if you're an intermediate programmer or even advanced programmer, it shouldn't be a problem for you to use this. So we could use this application and make a ride sharing application for if you are a delivery service, say Parcel Force or any other delivery service. You could track all your drivers, where their location is. So that's it for this video. If you had liked it, please make sure you like and subscribe this channel, and I should see you in my future videos. Bye till then. Thank you.